We'll start in verse 1. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, I am Yahweh your Elohim. Do not do as they do in the land of Mitzrayim, where you dwelt, and do not do as they do in the land of Canaan, where I am bringing you, and do not walk in their laws. Do not do my right rulings, guard my laws, to walk in them. I am Yahweh your Elohim. And you shall guard my laws and my right rulings, which a man does and lives by them. I am Yahweh. Go back to Romans 10. It says, Moshe writes, the man who does these shall live by them. Oh, so if you know the Tanakh, if you know Leviticus, I know most of you Christians haven't even looked at Leviticus in your lives, okay? Not your fault. None of the teachers you listen to ever go left of Matthew all that much anyway. Listen, he's absolutely talking about Leviticus here, which is talking about the Torah, so there's no doubt what he's talking about. When he says Messiah is the goal of the Torah, he then goes right away to Moshe in Leviticus 18. But now watch what he does. This is where you guys get it all twisted. But the righteousness of belief speaks in this way. Do not say in your heart, who shall ascend? So before we get there, let's finish with verse 5. As we get into verse 6. He says, but the righteousness of belief. That's not what the Greek says, okay? The word is better translated and. Okay, this helps us to see what Shul was connecting. He wasn't contrasting, listen, he wasn't contrasting righteousness of Torah with righteousness of belief. It was an and. Watch how this plays out. Moshe writes about righteousness, which is of the law, of the Torah, that a man who does these shall live by them, and the righteousness of belief. He's connecting. Why is he connecting them? The Jew is the righteousness of Torah. The Gentiles claiming righteousness of belief. He's saying they're the same thing, or at least they're supposed to be. They're not different. See, Christianity wants to contrast them. They're not contrasting here. Paul's not contrasting. He's trying to, the whole thing is to convince Jew and Gentile, you're going to the same spot. Not different. He says, and the righteousness of belief speaks this way. So he's talking about righteousness of belief. Now, he says, do not say in your heart, who shall ascend into the heavens, that is to bring Messiah down, or who shall descend into the abyss, that is to bring Messiah up from the dead. But what does it say? The word is near you, in your mouth and in your heart. That is the word of belief which we are proclaiming. And that came from Deuteronomy 30. See, you guys looking at your Romans, did you read the footnotes? Most Bibles tell you that's Deuteronomy 30. Let's go read it. Let's go read it, Deuteronomy 30. It's a little bit changed to put Messiah in there, but we know that Messiah is the law. He is the Torah, all right? Deuteronomy 30, and we're beginning here in verse 11. For this command, which I am commanding you today, is not too far off, and not too hard for you, nor is it far off. Okay, what did we just read here in verse 6 said, but the righteousness of belief speaks in this way. Do not say in your heart, who shall ascend into the heavens? That is to bring Messiah down. It says, verse 12, and this is in Deuteronomy, it is not in the heavens to say, who shall ascend into the heavens for us and bring it to us and cause us to hear it so that we do it. Paul is comparing and telling you that Yeshua is this. Because he used Messiah in quoting Deuteronomy instead of using the law. Not to contrast, but to show they're the same. He says, nor is it beyond the sea to say, who shall bring it over to us? He says beyond the sea. Here it says, from the abyss, descended to the abyss, that is to bring Messiah up from the dead. Then he says here, for the word is near, this is Deuteronomy 30:14, the word is near you, in your mouth and in your heart to do it. And so what does it say here in verse 8 of Romans 10? But what does it say? The word is near you, in your mouth and in your heart. That is the word of belief which we are proclaiming. He's proclaiming Deuteronomy 30. Stop making Paul anti-Torah.